live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello there, good evening and a warm welcome to the 9 p.m. news bulletin of the most prestigious channel in Sri Lanka. Bringing you your top stories for tonight, I am Lakshita Birasinghe.
A pleasant evening. I'm Dilanjali Ananda and these are the headlines for tonight.
The President invites the world leaders to dedicate with the conscience to create a safer world for the future generation. Addressing the UN General Assembly, the President stresses that the struggle against corruption should be a part of the culture in each country. An unexpected accident occurred in the Monastery in Malsiripura, claimed lives of 7 Buddhist monks and injured 6 monks. Moragoda road accident caused 4 deaths. The news item published in a daily paper today that there is no insulin in government hospitals is false. Case on Express Pearl vessel taken up today as well. Curfew imposed on Himalayan Ladakh region in India.
Now for those another stories in detail. President Anurukumara Dissanayake, addressing the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly, told the world leaders to dedicate themselves in accordance with the conscience to create a safe world for the future generation.
He pointed out that the world should progress, joining hands together rather than competing with each other. The President addressed the General Assembly at 12:45 a.m. local time.
The Assembly will hear an address by His Excellency Anurukumara Dissanayake, Head of State and President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. I request protocol to escort His Excellency and invite him to address the Assembly.
සභාපතිතුමියනි ගෞරවනීය ආරාධිතයනි සම්භාවනීය නියෝජිතයනි ලෝකේ ජාතීන් අතර සාධාරණ හා කල්පවතන සාමයක් ස්ථාපිත කිරීම සහ
President Anurukumara Dissanayake said that the decisions of the government will have a very important impact on the future of the country. Poverty, a tragedy as old as human civilization, has accompanied humankind on its journey through time. For centuries, countries across the world have faced this painful and relentless struggle on poverty, and problems stemming from it are also casting an oppressive shadow on future. This assembly must pay special attention to eradicate extreme poverty. He believes the conscience dictates to do so. For centuries, children of many countries in the world are suffering from poverty, including Sri Lanka. Poverty is a terrible enemy with many faces. A child's right to education is an internationally accepted fundamental right. This right is enshrined in the constitutions of most nations. Yet, across the world, poverty has denied this right to hundreds of thousands of children. In a world which boasts of its technological advances, how can there be children without access to education, since education is the foundation of every great nation, the President quipped. It is the most vital factor deciding one's future. The government firmly believes that investment in education is an investment in global progress. Many developing countries are constrained in their struggle against poverty by indebtedness. Low-income countries allocate twice as much on debt servicing than on education or healthcare. Our people and our countries are caught in debt traps. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development pledges to leave no one behind and to reach the last first. The agenda acknowledges the most critical challenge before the world is the challenge to end poverty. He said he likes to recall the decisions taken at the Global Summit for Social Development in Copenhagen in 1995. However, wars and political upheavals and the COVID pandemic have obstructed the fulfillment of these hopeful agendas. He proposed that the time has come to accept that inequality and poverty are a global catastrophe and should be acted accordingly. Drugs and organized crimes have become a serious concern to this world. This has been acknowledged in the World Drug Report 2025 published by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. The drug problem is a complex issue affecting millions of people globally. The market for drugs and related criminal organizations are creating issues globally. Drug cartels are turning entire states into their hunting grounds. They pose a major threat to global health and politics and eventually global well-being as well. While Sri Lanka is taking effective steps to address this challenge, it is respectfully requested that all of you should join in the effort to implement the global agenda on drugs and crime. He brought to their notice the necessity to implement the law strictly against these drug traffickers and prevent them from taking refuge in our countries, and also to set up centers for rehabilitation purposes. Opportunistic power politics has turned the lives of children and innocent civilians into a game. No one has the right to inflict pain and suffering on another to enhance one's own power. The duty of a ruler is not to destroy lives, but to protect them. The ongoing catastrophe in the Gaza Strip has been turned into an open prison full of pain and suffering, echoing with the cries of children and innocent civilians. The United Nations organization and all related parties must work towards an immediate ceasefire, enable adequate humanitarian aid to these areas, and to ensure the release of hostages of all parties. The government recognized the Palestinian people's inalienable right to their own state. The legal, security and humanitarian concerns of Israel and Palestinian people need to be acknowledged. Sri Lanka reiterates the importance of early implementation of the UN General Assembly resolutions regarding a two-state solution on the basis of the 1967 borders. The time has come for the international community to stop being a mere spectator and to move decisively to end the suffering of millions. Religious extremism and racism have been major causes of wars and conflicts, bringing suffering to millions of people. Although a century has passed since the abolition of slavery, the poison of racism still lingers in many places. Extremist and racist ideas are as deadly as epidemics. We must ask ourselves how these extremist and racist ideas survive like sparks under the ashes in a world that has witnessed so many advances on so many fronts. We must awaken our conscience to oppose racism and religious extremism in protection of human rights and freedoms. We must be brave enough to speak up for peace and also must not be afraid to speak up against war. In a world where millions of children die of hunger, spending millions of weapons, when tens of millions die of inadequate health facilities, hundreds of millions are spent on futile wars. When hundreds of thousands of children are denied the right to education, millions are spent on invading another's land. The people have chosen light over darkness. They have given their approval to realize the vision of a thriving nation, a beautiful life. To fulfill this historic mandate, the government has focused on establishing non-corrupt administration, poverty eradication and digitalization, and also has placed great emphasis on education, health, as well as moving towards these goals step by step. Digital democracy is one of our aims. Ensuring that every person and every country can enjoy the opportunities of the digital age is a global challenge. We will be able to open doors to technology, accelerate development and to strengthen governance, and in a failure, technology will turn into one more force, worsening inequality, insecurity and injustice. The digital gap between states that can and cannot establish access to digital tools is clear. An even greater gap is being created in relation to artificial intelligence. Sri Lanka and many other developing nations in Asia are facing challenges in using artificial intelligence as a development tool due to the inadequate infrastructure facilities. He requested the international community to work together and to develop a dignified society and a dignified world. He presented the August Assembly a proposal to set up a neutral, sovereign artificial intelligence zone. The world must be able to build a new and better world which represents the dignity of humankind. Members of this assembly must be the architects of that better world.
මගේ රටේ ජනතාව සතුටින් පිරුණු පොහොසත් ජීවිතයක් උරුම කර දීම මගේ ඒකායන සීන වෙනවා. ඔබේ රටවල ජනතාවටත් එවැනි ජීවිතයක් උරුම කර දීම ඔබේ සීනේ බව මා විශ්වාස කරනවා. ඒ සියලු සීන වෙනුවෙන් අප යා යුත්තේ එකිනෙකා පරාය යන ගමනක් වෙනුවට එකිනෙකා අත්වල බැඳගත් ගමනක් බව අප විශ්වාස කරනවා. නිරෝගී ධර්මතලයක සාමය, ගෞරවය හා සමානත්වතාව වෙනුවෙන් කැපවීම යනුවෙන් එක්සත් ජාතීන්ගේ සංවිධානයේ ආදර්ශ පාඨය සඳහන්ව තිබෙනවා. ඒ ලෝකයේ සැබෑවට පිළිසකර කරන්නන් වෙමු කියා මා ඔබට ගෞරවයෙන් ආරාධනා කරනවා. බෙහෙවින්ම ස්තුතියි.
On behalf of the Assembly, I wish to thank the Head of State and President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka.
President Andrew Dissanayake, who is now in New York to participate in the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly, will have a meeting with the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres tonight. The President is also due to have a meeting with the Sri Lankan diaspora in US. Bilateral talks between President Andrew Dissanayake and Portuguese President Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa were held at the Permanent Mission of Sri Lanka to the United Nations in New York today. President Dissanayake warmly welcomed President Rebelo de Sousa, and following a cordial exchange, the two leaders engaged in discussions. Special attention was given to enhancing trade and tourism relations between Sri Lanka and Portugal. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism Vijitha Herath, Sri Lanka's permanent representative to the United Nations, former Chief Justice and President Council Jayant Jayasuriya, along with senior officials of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, were also present at the meeting. President Andrew Dissanayake held bilateral discussions with Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese at the Permanent Mission of Sri Lanka to the United Nations in New York on yesterday afternoon. President Dissanayake warmly welcomed Prime Minister Albanese before the two leaders engaged in discussions aimed at further expanding economic and trade cooperation and strengthening bilateral relations. Emphasis was placed on promoting tourism as well as exploring new investment and marketing opportunities. President Dissanayake also held bilateral discussions with Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. The two leaders engaged in discussions focused on further strengthening the long-standing friendship between Sri Lanka and Pakistan and enhancing cooperation across multiple sectors. Minister Dr. Hinidumusunil Senavi says that the government will mediate to its utmost and with highest respect for the Buddhist monks who were injured and killed by the unexpected accident occurred last night at the Nauyana.
7 Buddhist monks, including 3 foreign monks, were killed and 6 other monks were injured in this accident. The monks were using the cable car to return to the hilltop monastery after a religious ceremony held at the monastery preaching hall around 9 p.m. when the cable car plunged down the slope. The injured Buddhist monks were admitted to Kurunegala Teaching Hospital and Polgahawela Hospital. 7 monks at the ages of 27, 31, 37, 47, 48 and 59 years succumbed to their injuries. Police said that among the victims there are 3 foreign monks who came from Romania, Russia and India. Hospital sources say the condition of 4 out of the 6 injured monks is serious. 2 monks managed to leap out of the car before the fall, sustaining minor injuries. Police suspect that one of the supporting cables of the cable car snapped, sending the car plunging down the slope. Pansiagama Police conducts further investigations. A theatre at the temple said that there are 2 switchboards that are activated automatically. The cable car has the maximum capacity of 10 persons. However, 13 monks were on board at the time of the accident. At first it moved slowly and then sped up and broke down.
පස්සේ පල්ලෙහාට ඇවිල්ලා. ටික දුරක් හිමීට වෙන්නේ ඊට පස්සේ හයියෙන් ඇවිල්ලා පල්ලෙහාටම කඩාගෙන ගියා.
Views were expressed on this matter today in the Parliament as well. Minister Dr. Hini Dumasunil Senavi said that the chief incumbent there of the monastery has inquired the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to conduct cremations of 3 foreign Buddhist monks within the country. The government has already taken measures to fulfill this request. He also wished speedy recovery for the injured monks. The government will mediate to this matter at its utmost. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa said that he expressed his deepest condolences for the deaths of Buddhist monks. He also appreciated the government for timely mediation in this matter and that the opposition will also extend its fullest support. Registrar of the Sri Kalyani Monastery Incorporated, which has the authority over the Navina Monastery, Venerable Kahagolle Somavansha Thera, also expressed views in this connection. Venerable Kahagolle Somavansha Thera said that condolences will be conveyed to the relatives of the deceased monks. Final rites will be conducted at 1:30 p.m. on Saturday at the Pansiagama Navina Monastery premises.
Meanwhile, 4 persons were killed in a road accident occurred this morning at the Moragoda area in Talava along the Kurunagala-Anuradhapura main road. 3 others were injured in the incident. According to police, a lorry and a van collided head-on. There were 6 passengers in the van and 4 of them have succumbed to their injuries. Driver of the lorry is also among the injured. They were admitted to Talava Hospital and 2 of them were later transferred to Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital. Preliminary investigations have revealed that cause of the accident was due to the driver of the van falling asleep. The van belonging to a private garment factory was travelling from Ja'ala to Mulathev at the time of the accident. The Speaker reiterated that a statement regarding the matters caused to reject the no-confidence motion brought by the opposition against Deputy Minister Aruna Jayasekara.
He tabled the letter of the Attorney General's opinion and the response made by the Secretary Board sent to him for his reference regarding the no-confidence motion. Views were expressed in this connection and on several other matters in Parliament today. Parliamentarian Kayantha Karunatilaka said that this is for the first time a no-confidence motion was rejected. The opposition clearly requested the Speaker to table the 2 relevant reports. Speaker Dr. Jagat Wickramaratne said that an answer given in connection with a letter sent by Administration General will be tabled. It has been sent to the reference of the Speaker. However, considering the request of the opposition, it will be tabled in Parliament. Parliamentarian Ajit P. Pereira said that the Speaker once gave an order regarding one particular matter. After that, on the 10th of this month, issued a descriptive order and rejected the no-confidence motion. The Speaker today rejects it for the second time. This is totally against Standing Order number 76. Minister Bimal Ratnayaka said that all the past Speakers were not bound to table documents sent for their reference. The present Speaker did it today for the first time. When the Speaker acts in that much of a democratic manner, the opposition members are attempting to demean the Speaker's position. They also attempt to insult the Speaker, misusing his humility. The Leader of the House further said that all should act according to the standing orders. Parliamentarian Ravindra Bandara said that it is clear that limited number of army deserters are among the underworld criminals and drug smugglers. Deputy Minister Aruna Jayasekara said that it is reported that both army deserters and members who are still in the forces are connected to crimes and drug rackets. Accordingly, the Ministry of Defence has informed the commanders of the armed forces to hand over such soldiers to the CID. In addition, they will be dealt with the military law to the utmost. Parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa said that the government says that many narcotics were seized from the Tangol area. The police have acted based on a statement made by a person who was admitted to hospital. Their aim is to show a connection of Rajapaksas with the drug smugglers. He requested the government not to follow the organised crime gangs and drug smugglers to act freely. Minister Ananda Vijaypala said that Sampath Manamperi, who is connected to drug smuggling, is now in custody. He had been once the coordinating secretary of former Minister Johnston Fernando. Therefore, they are connected to the SLPP. Investigations are being carried out to trace the other suspects as well. General public of the country very well know who import narcotics to the country. Now they attempt to put the blame on other parties. But people are not misled by their views. The underworld has been nurtured for a long time by politicians of this country. After destroying the children and the country, they were chased by the people. However, some of them have crept into the parliament and speak about the role of the opposition. MP Namal Rajapaksa said that the government should answer the question why they did not respond to the intelligence report sent by the UNODC. Minister Ananda Vijaypala said that according to the information received, the Narcotics Bureau went to the scene and inspected it. The government did not hug the culprits as done in the past. The government conducted investigations properly. If there is any mistake, the government is ready to correct it. It is not prepared to please the opposition members. The police will act according to the information received by the intelligence reports.
Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa informs that the news item published in a daily paper today regarding non-availability of insulin in government hospitals is false. The minister said that there is an insulin sufficient for 3 weeks in the health institutions, including the government supplies unit. Most stocks of insulin adequate for 4 months will arrive in the island by the end of October. He made these remarks participating in the ceremony to mark the Pharmacist Day 2025.
Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that this is fake news. A media person without any inquiry has published this news. By the first week of October, a stock of insulin sufficient for another 1.5 months will be brought to the country. By the end of October, some more stocks adequate for 4 months will arrive. In an inquiry, Director of the National Hospital said that stocks of insulin are available sufficient for 3 weeks. The Ministry of Health has taken the responsibility of providing quality medicines for patients continuously.
According to Minister of Energy, Engineer Kumar Jayakodi, the process of restructuring the power sector is now in progress, changing the structures which glorify the obsolete bureaucracy. He made this observation joining a program held at the Ministry of Environment. The program was held to introduce energy efficiency labels for air conditioners to promote energy efficient equipment jointly by Sri Lanka Sustainable Energy Authority and Sri Lanka Bureau of Standards under the leadership of Ministry of Energy Engineer Kumar Jayakodi. Minister of Energy Engineer Kumar Jayakodi said that a maximum assurance has been given as to how the process will progress, yet efforts are being taken to sabotage this for narrow political objectives. As a government, it has to be stated that these institutions are not for the employees but for the people and the entire country. All these government institutions are for the people. Secretary to the Lanka Electricity Employees Association, Prabhat Arjuna, observed that demands cannot be won by inflicting suffering on the people of the country or to carry out struggles. These demands are mostly established by the government, and they all along said that the government is not ready for negotiations. Only a small group with political objectives are compelled to carry out acts of sabotage.
දේශපාලනයට යට වෙච්ච යම්කිසි සුළු කණ්ඩායමක් තමයි මේ වැඩේ දිගටම මේ කඩා කප්පල් කරමින් මෙවැනි දේවල් කරන්න පෙළඹෙන්නේ. අද නව විදුලි බල පනතෙන් ප්‍රධාන සමාගම් හතරක් නම් කරලා
Chief of Operations of National Trade Union Centre, Chandima Vimla Surendra, said that 4 main companies have been named under the New Energy Act, along with 2 other companies, and to definite duty has been entrusted with those institutions. These 2 companies will wind up once their delegated duty is performed. The remaining 4 companies will be government companies and are the same companies the former Minister Kanchana Wijesekara tried to divide into 12 and sell them. The opportunity for privatization has been avoided. The government cannot allow the defeated politicians to fulfill their objectives. It is important to give correct understanding to the people by providing the same genuine understanding to the energy employees as well.
Chairman of the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation, B.A. Rajakaruna, says that it will progress in accordance with the objective of the government to transform Sri Lanka into an energy hub in the world. He detailed about the future plans to implement the framework accordingly at a media briefing held in Colombo. Chairman of the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation, B.A. Rajakaruna, said that in order to achieve the objective, a thriving nation and a beautiful country, the necessary policies were included and the energy policy has also been detailed in this program. 28% of the import expenditure of the country has been allocated for petroleum, and the human resources policy of this country is aimed at making Sri Lanka an energy hub of the world. This objective was not fulfilled for 34 years. A human resource policy has been introduced to the CPSTLA institution and has been approved by now. It has been mentioned in the policy statement of the government that refineries at Sapuga, Skanda, Kolonnawa and Muthurajawala will be maintained as training centres. Not only for Sri Lanka but technicians for the world market can be created through this program. According to the new policy, the corporate plan will be updated and the Muthurajawala terminal will be available to receive the ISO standard certification during the first 2 months of next year. Kolonnawa and other institutions will follow this process later. A project of 6 tanks was commenced with a capacity of 64,000 cubic meters at a cost of 3.7 billion rupees. A project which has been suspended has been recommenced. Cabinet approval also has been taken to construct another 3 tanks at Muthurajawala, and tanks number 30 and 31 at Kolonnawa will be removed, and a tank with a capacity of 12,000 cubic meters will be constructed at a cost of 1,446 million rupees.
The Supreme Court ordered the Attorney General today to report to the court regarding the legal action that can be taken against the foreign company of the Express Pearl ship pertaining to the non-payment of compensation ordered in fundamental rights cases in connection with the Express Pearl ship catching fire on the 26th of January next year. The court case was taken up today in accordance with a motion forwarded by the local representative company of the ship, Sea Consortium Lanka Company, in order to present facts to pay compensation. The petition was taken up for hearing in the presence of 3-member bench of judges consisting Justices Shiran Gunaratna, Achala Veggapulli and Priyantha Fernando. The attorney at law who appeared for the foreign company related to Express Pearl ship, named a respondent of the consent petitions, informed the court that he is withdrawing his proxy. No legal representation was presented in the court on behalf of that company afterwards. Attorney at law Ravindranath Dabare, appearing on behalf of the petitioner, stated that the Supreme Court recently ordered the concerned foreign company to pay a compensation of $1 billion within 1 year on behalf of the environmental damage caused due to the related ship accident. Although it had been ordered that an amount of $250 million out of the total compensation has to be paid on or before the 23rd of September, he pointed out that it has not been paid so far. The attorney at law pointed out that action can be taken for contempt of court, although a complaint has not been filed, but the concerned company has committed the offence of contempt of court. He also requested that the directors of the company should be punished after conducting a proper court hearing. The attorney at law, who appeared on behalf of the fishing community, told the court that the respondent company has committed contempt of law court through the non-payment of compensation. The attorneys at law, appearing on behalf of the petitioners, also agreed with these clarifications. In the meantime, the attorney at law, representing the local representative of the ship, told the court that his client has paid the stipulated compensation of 300 million rupees by the Supreme Court. He further said that his company can only pay that amount and they do not have monetary capacity to pay an amount more than that. He pointed out that his client has not committed any contempt of law but had paid the concerned compensation as per the court order. The Deputy Solicitor General Madhava Tennakon, appearing on behalf of the Attorney General, stated that the action is being taken to establish the Compensation Commission and the Commission to evaluate environment damage in accordance with the previous orders issued by the Supreme Court. He further said that criminal investigation activities regarding the incident is also in progress. The Deputy Solicitor General also pointed out that the respondent company has committed the offence of contempt of law by not paying the above stated compensation stipulated by the Supreme Court. Justice Achala Veggapulli said that the Supreme Court has done the maximum within their legal limits to levy the compensation for the damage caused due to the concerned accident. The justice also pointed out that the levying of compensation beyond this process is the responsibility of the executive, and solutions will not be found to these problems by taking the directors of the respondent company into custody alone. The case will be taken up for hearing on the 26th of January in order to review the progress of the orders issued regarding the case. We'll be back with international news after this break.
In news from overseas, India has imposed a curfew in Ladakh after protests escalated into violence, leaving 4 people dead and several others injured. Demonstrators demanding greater self-rule also set fire to an office of the ruling party. The Indian government, which directly administers Leh, the capital of Himalayan region of Ladakh, has imposed a curfew following violent clashes between police and protesters. The unrest occurred during demonstrations calling for self-governance, leaving 4 people dead and several others injured. An office of the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party was set on fire and destroyed by the protesters. The Ladakh region, with a population of about 500,000, is located along the borders with China and Pakistan. For the past 6 years, thousands of people in Ladakh, led by local civic bodies, have taken out peaceful marches and gone on hunger strikes, demanding greater constitutional safeguards and statehood from India, which has governed the region federally since 2019. They want the power to elect a local government.
Now, giant panda twins at Shanghai Wild Animal Park have marked a special milestone. The cubs, born a month ago, are showing signs of healthy growth under a close care of their mother and a dedicated team of keepers. The male and female cubs, weighing 160 and 200 grams at birth respectively, have now grown to about 1,300 grams each. Their signature black and white fur has become visible with dark patches around their eyes and ears. Park staff say the cubs spend most of their time feeding and sleeping, a normal routine for newborn pandas. Their eyes remain closed for now but are expected to be opened fully within the next few weeks. First-time mother Qian Jing has adapted well to her role, supported by the professional care team working round the clock. Keepers assist with feeding, health monitoring and tracking their growth, while Qian Jing has become proficient in nursing and soothing the cubs. The mother and babies are housed in a special breeding area, with parks officials noting that the pandas will be introduced to the public once experts give approval.
Olympic Mission Program Mission Olympic 2028 Journey to Rings commenced today. The main objective of the program is to win a medal at the 2028 Los Angeles Olympic Games. The program was introduced at a function held at the Duncan White Hall of the Ministry of Sports under instruction of Minister of Sports Sunil Kumar Gamage. It is also being implemented under the complete supervision of the Department of Sports Development. Deputy Minister of Sports Sugat Tilakaratna, Deputy Minister of Youth Affairs Eranga Gunasekara, along with other officials, attended the function. 85 sports persons with international level skills and their coaches will be awarded with financial assistance under the Mission Olympic program. It has been mentioned during the function today that these sports persons have been divided into 4 groups. Accordingly, a player in Group 1 will get 150,000 rupees per month, while their coaches will receive a sum of 100,000 rupees. A player in Group 2 will receive a sum of 100,000 rupees, while a coach will get an amount of 65,000 rupees. A sum of 75,000 rupees will be given to a player in the third group, while their coaches will get a sum of 50,000 rupees. A player in the Group 4 will receive an amount of 50,000 rupees, while their coaches will get a sum of 30,000 rupees. According to the Minister of Sports, these payments will be made effective from the month of April this year. Sportspersons out of them will be directed towards international training, and necessary grants for the same has also been allocated. A monthly allowance of 60,000 rupees will also be given to players as a nutrition allowance. And with that, we'll wrap up tonight's news bulletin. Do join us tomorrow for more of the very latest. Until then, good night.